Hey YouTube. So I know a lot of you who play Overwatch know that there's been a pretty big comeback with the game with the release of the new stadium mode. And I mean, I have been absolutely addicted to that mode. I mean, it is so fun. Like the ability to make your own builds and to make your character play the way that you want to play is just so fun. So I thought it would be kind of a good idea to make a bit of a tier list about what I personally think are the best to the worst characters in Stadium. Now, that being said, just because I rank a character low doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad. In fact, in my opinion, I feel like every character in the game is viable because there's just so much build diversity between all of the characters. This is just going to be my personal opinion about what I think are the best to the worst characters. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, so I went ahead and changed some of the letters here to more of my liking. I didn't really like the S plus to S tiers. So anyways, let's get started with this. So first of all, we got D.Va. D.Va she's pretty good. If you go for like a missile build, she can melt the backline very easily, especially if you're good at diving. It is a little bit hard to survive as her if you don't spec anything into defense matrix, or if they're playing like a Zarya or a Rein, you might have a pretty tough time. There's just a lot of damage going around, especially with like Mei and Reaper and Soldier and Juno and all that. So there is a lot of damage in Stadium, so it is a little bit difficult to keep yourself up, and I do see a lot of divas get absolutely shredded, even with defense matrix, especially if you're playing into Zarya. So that could be pretty rough. So I think starting out, I'm just gonna put her in B tier. She's not terrible. If you go for like a macro missile build, she can be pretty good. She can take out the backline pretty quick, but she also gets melted pretty quick on her own. For Junker Queen, I think she's a pretty solid A tier. She obviously, her ult is basically a free win, like a free fight win. You can just pop that, hit most of their team, and you basically just win that fight. Very survivable. I mean, obviously she can heal herself with wounds and stuff like that. Does a lot of damage, and overall a really solid character, I think. For Orisa, this is a bit of a difficult one. Orisa kind of just shines with being very survivable, which is nice for a tank because of how much damage is going on in Stadium. And her ult can be good. If you go into like full ability power for Orisa, her ult can be absolutely insane. I think she's generally a pretty good tank. I think a little bit better than D.Va. I don't know if I'd put her in A tier, because I think Zarya is a little bit better. This is a tough one for me, actually. I think I'm gonna put her in B tier, but like right below A tier, like pretty damn close to being A tier, if not A tier. I'm gonna put her there for now. I might change that, but I think she's pretty close to being A tier. Rein, I mean, Rein is an easy S tier. He's just insane right now. Does a ton of damage. If he's mercy boosted, he can one-shot your team with his fire strikes. He can two-shot with his hammer. What's it called? His ram attack. I forgot what it's called, but that, I mean, obviously is good, especially if you get the shield ability for it, so he shields himself when he dives, or not dives, rams. Definitely see a lot of rams. I mean, oh yeah, also his ult is really good. You definitely see a lot of Reins. There's a lot of build diversity for him, and he does a lot of damage and has a lot of health. So definitely a very good tank, by far the best, I think, right now. Zarya, also very good. I'd put her definitely closer to S tier than Queen. A lot of survivability with her bubbles. You can protect your team pretty easily with her. You do a lot of damage. You're pretty much always fully charged in Stadium, just because, again, of how much damage is going on. Her ult is pretty good. You can, if you time it right and you're good with it, you can definitely win a fight very easily with her ult. So especially like if you go into ability power and stuff like that. So definitely a very good character there. So yeah, I think, I don't know if I want to move. I think Orisa's fine in B tier. Again, these characters are still really good. It's just compared to the other ones, they don't perform as well in my opinion. All right, so moving on to DPS, we're gonna start out here with Ashe. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to put her in C tier, I think. She does do a lot of damage. Don't get me wrong, you can, if you're aiming down sight, you can two-shot like a Juno or a Mercy pretty easily. Like squishies can get melted, tanks can get melted. The only issue is you need to have good positioning and you need to have good aim. Otherwise, she's just not very good. That, and really, if you're going for like a weapon damage build like that, there's only like 2 perks that are really useful for her. So pretty much everything else is just like Bob upgrades or dynamite upgrades, and it's just not really that great. So I don't really think she's that amazing of a character in Stadium. I think she definitely has a high skill ceiling and you can get a lot of value off of her. Then again though, if you're good at Ashe, you know, why not get good at like Cassidy or Reaper or Mei or some other character that's really good. Like for example, Soldier is much easier to play and he just has so much more value. So I think definitely a pretty low tier character here. Cass does a lot of damage. He has a really fun build where you can just spam Deadeye over and over and over again. I like to do that a lot. I don't think he's as good as like Mei or Soldier, but I do think that he's really, really good. I'm gonna put him in A tier. I think he's pretty good. Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna put Ashe in B tier. I don't think she's like that bad of a hero, but I don't think she's amazing. I think she can be good. It's just like a skill thing. Genji, this is gonna be pretty controversial, but definitely gonna put him in C tier. I don't feel like he gets a lot of value. He's a dive character, and the issue with that is there's a lot of brawl characters in the game right now, and not a lot of like poke. Like yeah, you got Ashe, but you know if you're playing against an Ashe, that's probably gonna be your easiest target. But she can just spec into like full dynamite, and you're gonna have a rough time. Cassidy has his stuns, obviously. Mei can go into her iceberg. Reaper's gonna be rough to kill as Genji. Soldier might be a little bit easy, but he can put down his healing pack. And then after that, you know, Juno is pretty hard to kill. And she's like one of the best supports right now. Actually, she just is the best support. In fact, she's the best hero in Stadium. So you're not gonna be able to do much to her. Kiri can TP away. Lucio's gonna be rough to kill. Mercy's gonna be rough to kill. Moira's gonna be rough to kill. It's just, I really don't feel like Genji is that good of a character in Stadium, unfortunately. Even though he is like one of the best DPS in ranked, like normal ranked, I don't think that Genji is that good in Stadium. So I'm definitely gonna put him in C tier. He definitely needs some work, I feel like. Even if you go for his Dragon Blade ability, it's pretty rough. Mei is really good. I'm gonna put her in S tier. She definitely does a lot of damage and has a lot of survivability, especially if you go for her Blizzard skills. She can just absolutely shred like everybody. Very strong character by far. One of the best DPS. Reaper's pretty good too. I think I'm gonna put him in A tier. I definitely see a lot of Reapers doing a lot of damage and going for like the Death Blossom ability, where when you TP, you do a Death Blossom. That does a lot of damage. So definitely putting him in A tier there. He's a very, very strong DPS. Soldier is also like just by far one of the best DPS in the game. Whether or not you go for his Visor build or his Rocket build, you know, he basically has 2 very, very good builds, which is more than most characters. I mean, that's more than Mei. Mei only has like 1 good build, like 1 really, really good build. Soldier has 2 really, really good builds. So definitely S tier. All right, going into supports here, Ana is a bit of a rough one. You need really good aim to be good as her, and she kind of is slow with healing. Her anti-grenades are very, very big, but her actual healing output is pretty lackluster. She can do a lot of damage. I have seen a lot of damage coming from Ana's, and also her ability to ult the entire team, to like nano boost your entire team, is pretty huge. I think she's good, but I don't I don't think she's amazing. I'm gonna put her in B tier. I don't think she's insane, but I think that she definitely is a pretty viable character. I mean, there's only one place for Juno, right? I mean, she's just terrible. No, I'm just kidding. Definitely S tier. Not even one of, literally the best character in Stadium by far. She out DPSs pretty much every DPS. If you go for her Pulsar build, she just does damage. She does so much damage. It's unfair. You can two-shot with her Pulsar torpedoes. And here's the funny part. You can get 2 charges of them with one of her upgrades. You can get 2 charges of Pulsars. So if you use both of them right after each other, you can insta-kill any squishy pretty much. She is so broken. Also, she can heal your entire team. Her Pulsars lock on. If you can two-shot the enemy squishies, and then you can two-shot heal your team. It's so broken. She does so much damage. She is just absolutely insane. Very hard to kill as well, because she has an ability where she gets over health while she's firing her Pulsar torpedoes. Absolutely an insane character. By far the best. Out of all of Stadium, by far the best. She is not only the best support in the game, she's also the best DPS. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. If your team isn't running a Juno, your team's throwing, basically. Like, that's just how it is. I'm shocked she has not been nerfed. So, yeah, she's just crazy. Juno, or not Juno, sorry. Kiriko. Honestly, I feel like she's the worst support in Stadium. That's probably going to be controversial, but her only real good ability is her Suzu, and you can get 2 of those with an upgrade, which is nice. Her healing output is pretty bad. It's not worth going for her ability power. You basically want to go for weapon damage. And at that point, you're just DPSing, so you might as well play Juno as a support. So she's not good. She's not really that good, unfortunately. I wish she was better. She's a cool character, but Lucio, I'm gonna just put him in A tier. He's pretty strong. If you spec him correctly, you can just constantly be throwing down sound barriers. He doesn't really heal per se, but he gives a lot of overhealth just constantly, and it makes it really hard to kill, like for the enemy team to kill your squishies. If you don't even have to really be good at Lucio to have a lot of value as him. He's just really strong. So definitely A tier. And if you are good as him, broken. Probably S tier if you're actually really good at him. Absolutely insane. All right, next up we got Mercy. Mercy is also a very strong character. The fact that you can res and then immediately go into Valkyrie form is broken, especially if you pair that with her ability to tether all of her teammates with a healing and a damage beam at the same time, which is why you'll see a lot of Mercies when they go into Valkyrie pull out their pistol and start doing damage, because there's literally no point of having her staff out. So very strong. I mean, the reses, like the ability to resurrect your teammates is already really good. Her powers on top of that just make her an insane support. I'm not personally a good Mercy player. I'm more of a Juno or a Kiriko or an Ana player in comp. But if you're good at Mercy, absolutely you should play her. She is very strong. All right, and then last but not least, we got Moira here. Moira is also an S tier support. Her ability to throw out, like, I think it's what, 4 orbs at the same time, like 3 damage orbs and then a healing orb, is just, it's insane. You can do so much damage as Moira and have the highest healing in the lobby besides maybe a Juno. It's crazy. Like, especially if you pair that with there's a perk where if you do ability damage, it lowers enemy healing on that person by like 30%. If you get that perk and then throw out 3 like orbs into the enemy team, everybody gets hit by that and everybody on their team has 30% reduced healing. It is insanely strong. And then on top of that, you also throw out 1 orb to heal yourself, and you have a fade, and her cooldowns are really, really fast. And her ult is really strong because you're going for ability power. She's just insane. She's so good. If it wasn't for Juno, she would be the best support. So like, honestly, if you want to like pretty much win every game, Get someone who's decent at Juno, get someone who's decent at Moira, and you just win. You literally just win. It's like, it's crazy how good they are. Like, you can solo carry as Juno, you can solo carry as Moira. Like, it's free. These other characters are a bit harder to carry on, but Juno, Moira, literally the best, especially Juno. Juno is by far the best stadium character. Like, it doesn't even come close. But all right, so that's going to wrap up this video in particular. I hope this helped some of you new players kind of figure out what characters are worth practicing and getting good at and finding good builds for. Or maybe even if you're, you know, a returning player or you already play a lot, you know, I hope this helped at least a little bit with figuring out kind of where characters are and what characters you might want to start looking into playing if you don't already play them. If you guys disagree or agree, make sure to leave your comment in the comment section below, because I would love to hear what you guys' opinions are on these characters. I'm sure definitely some of these characters down here are going to be a little bit controversial, so I fully expect that. But again, I just, you know, want to let you all know that this is an opinionated list. You know, none of this is fact. None of this is like, oh, you absolutely should not play these characters. If you're good, for example, at a Genji, play Genji. Every character is viable. Like, there isn't a character that's just absolute trash. You can play any character and it'll work. Anyways, that's gonna wrap this one up. I hope this helped you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.